I will be sharing with you tips on becoming a leader minus the stress. Because as Albert Einstein once said, in the middle of every difficulty lies opportunities. No one is saying that being a leader is an easy task. In fact, it is a very difficult task. So let me share with you some tips on how to make your path or your way through leadership easy. So, tip number 1. You know, in the brain, there are many pathways. And these pathways light up when we do things or when we eat certain things. And the first thing that can light up your brain is actually prayer. And that has already been shown by researchers through positron emission tomography scans or PET scans. In PET scans, it shows that brains actually light up when we pray. As opposed to being depressed, when we are stressed or depressed, it goes on a brownout mode or there are no lights inside your brain. But when we pray, it lights up, helps you think clearer, and makes you go through the day easier. So, an opportunity for you to be better for that day. Tip number 2 is don't take any caffeine. Many leaders would start their days by taking coffee or taking anything that has caffeine. And it has been shown by researchers that caffeine is actually detrimental to your brain as it minuses or it causes some of your brain cells to die out. And just like a highway, if you think of a highway, if there are no potholes, then getting from one point to the other would be very quick. However, if you have potholes, it may take you longer to get from one point to the other. So it's the same with caffeine, and I'm showing you some PET scans and SPECT scans of brains that are normal and those that have taken caffeine. So as you can see, there are holes in those that have taken caffeine. It's also the same for my tip number 3. Don't take any alcohol. Because alcoholic beverages also do this to our brain. It causes potholes in your brain. So there's also a minus. Tip number 4 is also the same. That's do not take nicotine. Because nicotine can also cause your brain cells to die out. Just like having potholes in your brain, then therefore your process of thinking would actually be slower and not faster. Tip number 5 is exercise daily. Because PET scans, researchers have shown that the brain also lights up when we exercise. And just like what I said earlier, when we pray, it lights up our brain. Therefore, we are able to think clearer and better when our brains light up. And exercise does that. A 1-hour exercise daily would do, or 10,000 steps would also suffice. Tip number 6 would be to eat vegetables and fruits. Eating vegetables and fruits would mean that you would have the necessary ingredients to make the neurotransmitters inside your brain. You see, the neurotransmitters in our brain do not exist as neurotransmitters themselves. It's like cooking bread every day. It needs to gather the ingredients and cook the pandesal or the bread fresh every day. The last tip for today would be to end your day by thinking at least 3 positive things that happened to you for the day. So, thinking positively also lights up our brain. and thinking at least 3 good things that happened to you for the day would show or would help your brain to become positive thinking rather than negative thinking. So as a leader, that would also be passed down to your co-workers, because positive leaders would influence workers to also be positive thinkers. With that, I pray that you would be able to sustain and see your leadership as an opportunity. God bless.